Good morning, peace, light, and love. And it's been a while since we had a reading from the Language of Letting Go by Melody Beattie. One important thing is whenever you're going through a crisis is to always continue, have a continuation, something that you do consistently that is good for you. So today's reading is owning our power. We need to make a distinction between powerlessness and owning our power. So what does that sentence mean? Of course, there's a distinction between powerlessness and owning our power. The first step in recovery is accepting powerlessness. That's what they tell you. There are some things we can't do, no matter how long or hard we try. These things include changing other people, solving their problems, and controlling their behavior. Sometimes we feel powerless over ourselves, what we feel or believe, or the effects of a particular situation or person on us. It's important to surrender to powerlessness. That means to accept limits, basically. It's very interesting. This comes just on time for me personally. Is there a person in your life that you've been trying to change and thinking, if only I say if only I say certain words, maybe I can convince this other person, and by miracle, a relationship will improve and everything will be great. We have to accept that we cannot change other people. So, I think it's a similar metaphor for that is like the elections. We're going to have elections in 2 months. A lot of people are very cynical about it. I take it quite seriously. And I know that no matter what I try, I'm not going to be able to change the results of the elections. So I'm helpless to change the elections. It looks like our current Prime Minister will stay in office. He's a very strong position, but because of fear of change, this is exactly, people are afraid of changing. And they're not going to change unless it has to do with money, finance, and they don't mind having a prime minister who's been accused of bribery because for them it's better than someone who will give Palestinians Israeli land. So they prefer that, to just continue the same old way. Well, I'm not necessarily for giving lands or whatever. I am definitely for trying out new things. Although I am not going to vote for the Labour Party because it just has no chance. I'm not going to vote for a party that doesn't have any chance. I'm going to vote for someone who might have a chance to beat him. It's like when I voted for the mayor of Tel Aviv, I also voted for the underdog. Something in life, to be honest, I realize now that I've been very unrealistic about how I can change other people in my workplace. For instance, when I had this particular workplace that irritated me, you can only change yourself. And if people irritate you, you need to put a border. So it's important to surrender to powerlessness, but it's equally important to own our power. You do have power. We aren't trapped. We aren't helpless. Sometimes we feel like we are, but we aren't. We each have the God-given power and the right to take care of ourselves in any circumstance with any person. The middle ground of self-care lies between the two extremes of controlling others and allowing them to control us. You can walk the ground gently or assertively, but in confidence that it is our right and responsibility. Let the power come to walk that path. Let the power come to walk that path. Today I will remember that I can take care of myself. I have choices and I can exercise the options I choose without guilt. Very important that you don't feel like somebody else is controlling you. Often I have a situation where I always feel like I'm obligated to do certain things and cannot get out of it. I was working in a very violent school and I was feeling really scared and unhappy and tired, and I felt like it was just sucking out all my energy. And I was just surviving, basically. I tried, there were points of light. Some of the children were amazing, but just take a few violent kids and there was no staff meetings about what to do with that. And I had to handle everything on my own. And it's not like I run the school. When you work in a school system, you expect that there would be a team, and oftentimes they just let the teacher handle everything. I think that is exactly about owning your power. You really have to be strong when you're a teacher and you have the power, but you have to realize you're very limited, and when there's violent kids, first grade throwing chairs, it's not the place for me. I feel sad for them, but I really cannot handle violence, excessive violence. And instead of complaining, I just need to realize that. So I think there are many, many jobs without violence, and I'm hoping that I will find one very soon. The mistake I made was I was so quick to take something on because it sounded wonderful to work with difficult populations, and then I realized I just don't have the energy to handle everything on my own. And it's not like other teachers they had meetings, but I was just recruited as I don't know, temporary help or whatever. It's really not for me. So I'm going to see what's going to happen, what's out there. And for me at least, work is just a way to pay the bills. It's not like I'm going to, it's like not what I want to do with my life. I have so many things that I'm interested in that it's just one of them. One of them is empowerment and coaching and learning how to manage life better and how to make the most of life, and drawing, writing, books, they're very important for me. If I could have combined work with my interests, that would have been perfect, but realistically I don't see that happening. Last night I talked with a neighbor. She was really interesting. She's from Bukharia, which is an area in Russia, but it's really special people. And she was reading my hand, and she said, I did not yet fulfill my life's ambition. It's true. She said really positive things about me being very sensitive. She was like spot on. She's really a special person, and I'm really happy to have her in my life. She's a history teacher for many years, and a musician and opera singer. And I think it's really sad that elderly people like that have so much to tell, just don't get to tell their story. I think I will do an interview with her, which I will translate. She desperately wants somebody to make a film about her life. She's just like amazing. She won rewards in education and everything, but I don't understand why she's not going out there to schools and telling about her childhood, the history of the family, how they came from Bukharia, and really interesting. There were merchants there, and like they were trading in cotton because of the Civil War in America. The cotton industry was shut down because of the war, and just interesting what they were working in and how they came to Israel all the way around from Suez Canal. And just her life is very interesting, and I wish there would be more bond between the generations, because it seems like a lot of times, especially in this country that has so many young people, that they just live for today and they don't realize how much they can benefit from the history and the living history of elderly people. So that's something to think about in education for sure, to have people tell their stories, not just about the Holocaust, but just about immigration, about change, about growth, how they found their purpose in life and how they used to live. She went against the traditions in Bukharia. She didn't want to be a housewife, and she became a teacher. And I just think it's important to let the elderly speak. Too often they're ignored, and their life experience is just priceless, and it's part of an education that children could benefit a lot from. But I also realize the Board of Education is like this. They're not interested in what I have to say. And it seems like people are more interested in saying things than listening. Last job I had, the vice principal yelled at me, and I was slightly late because there were traffic jams, and Well, I admit I made a mistake. There are red lines. So what I want to say out of this talk is you must have red lines in your life, what you're willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept. And this I can learn also from the elderly woman. Like, there were some things she wasn't willing to accept. She wanted to not be a housewife. She could have easily been one, beautiful woman, but she decided to just be a teacher and a musician and opera singer. And I think we need to learn from people that are willing to take the risks. And as for being yelled at, I don't know, I just feel sorry for that woman that she's a vice principal of a school and she yells at people and adults. I mean, it's exactly what I had in another job. It's not that I'm a quiet person, I am not, but I just don't understand yelling. It's a type of violence, and I don't understand that in a place of education. How do you expect the pupils to be well behaved if they see an example of yelling vice principal in front of everyone? She was just screaming at me. You had a hard day? Fine. Drink a coffee and be quiet, or tea, whatever calms your nerves. Peace, light, and love.